Hello, everyone, and welcome to this quick demo of the Mindstone platform. When somebody gets introduced to the platform, you can see them here. They have an overview of the program itself. We cover 3 different modules over the 4 weeks. We start with how to use AI assistants for work. We then go into an overview of the generative AI ecosystem, and we finish with a view on soft workflow automation. What happens when you combine 2 or 3 of these tools together into workflows that in some cases can do weeks worth of work in hours? So the platform here always has a quick direct call to action for whatever the user's next action should be. This is an account that is at the start of the program. You have the content of the program here, so you can see where you are at any point in time and your completion rate for each of these modules. The live sessions, although they are live, they are recorded and they are always uploaded back to the platform. So if you miss one, you have them here on the right-hand side, as you can see. And then last but not least, you have the leaderboard. The leaderboard is just an element to get people to give them that little nudge to make sure that they actually complete the program. And you can see here quite a few of this cohort has 100% completed the program already. Now, when people get onboarded to the platform, every user's experience of the platform is entirely unique to themselves. And the way we do that is that when they got onboarded, there is an AI that asks them about what they actually do in their daily job. And that is what this is about. So you start here, and everyone goes through this experience. And the AI starts to ask you about what you actually do. It already knows who you are and the role that you have, but it goes deeper. So here it asks me, what are my main tasks I handle on a daily or weekly basis? I am mostly on Zoom calls with potential clients, partners, and investors. Then I follow up by email, which probably represents about 50% of my job to begin with. Now, the AI will dig into what I actually do on a daily basis. So here it's going to ask me to get a better understanding. Could you describe the main challenges you face with these tasks? For example, is it managing volume, ensuring consistency, or something else? It's both, actually. It's volume, but I also need to guarantee quality. It will continue to ask you questions until the AI gets the concludes that it has enough information about what you do on a daily or weekly basis in order to personalize the program. And that is where I'm now going to switch to an account that is a little bit further along. To give you an idea, I'm going to go into the same program. In here, you can now see the same view that I just showed you before, but the account is a little bit further along. It has already onboarded. At the end of the onboarding process, based on what we know about the user, so the company they're in, the role they occupy, and what they do on a daily or weekly basis, we then suggest 3 likely high impact use cases that are relevant to what they do, to they directly. They select the one that they think is most interesting, and then we take everything we know about them, so their company, their role, what they do on a daily basis, and the use case that they selected was likely the most interesting to them. And we use that in order to personalize the entire experience on the platform. So here you can see an account that has selected strategizing new product and marketing initiatives as their use case to focus on. You can see this in a little bit more detail. If they wanted to switch, you can actually see the 3 other use cases that were suggested. And then all of that information is then used to personalize the account. Now, I'll show you what the personalization means. So every day, there are multiple concepts that are presented in relation to different uses of generative AI as they relate to work. And here, this account is on week 2, step 1, which is where we introduce Perplexity. For those of you that don't know Perplexity, it's an AI, they call themselves answer engine instead of a search engine. And so the way that each concept is is presented on the platform is always through 5 different concepts. 3 theory cards, 1 practical, and then 1 trivia. So we start with presenting the concept itself. What is Perplexity about? We then focus in on what are the key things you need to understand on how Perplexity, or whatever concept we are talking about that day, relates to productivity. We then include the view of somebody well-known in industry and how they think it relates to productivity. And then you have what we call the practical application card. Now, the practical application card is where all the personalization happens. This is where we ask the user to perform something. We give them a practical application of the concept we present or talked about in that particular card. And we personalize that application to something that is directly relevant to them. So the card that was used here, so the personalization on this account, was around strategizing new product and marketing initiatives. And so the system has decided that for this particular user, a good practical application of Perplexity is to ask them to run a query on Perplexity that asks, what are the latest trends in product design for 2024? Had I been at HR, it might have asked me to look at the latest work from home trends in 2024. Or if I'm in product, if I'm in legal, it might have asked me to look at the latest work from home legal structures, for example. The idea is that everyone on this page has a practical application of the context that is directly relevant to what they do on a daily basis. We then finish with a question. The question can either be multiple choice or free text. About 2/3 are multiple choice, 1/3 is free text. And that is how we present each concept. Now I go out of this. And then the last thing to present as well is the sandbox. Now, the sandbox is where people can experiment with their prompts and they get feedback on them. Right. Here's an example. How can I use AI to be more productive? Now, on the left-hand side, I'm going to just get the results from ChatGPT. There's nothing particularly interesting about that. It is the same thing that you would have gotten from ChatGPT had you given that command into ChatGPT. What is interesting, however, is what happens on the right-hand side, because I'm getting an evaluation of my query to begin with. How could I have asked this question in a better way in order to get a better result from the AI? So here you can see I'm getting scored 5.4 out of 10, not dramatically good, but it's not just stopping there. It's actually giving me detailed feedback. So the reason I'm getting 5 out of 10 is that my specificity score is very low and the richness is really low. So the prompt is very general and does not provide specific details that would help generate a detailed and useful response. And the prompt does not set the stage for a rich, detailed conversation. It provides a general topic, but lacks depth. And then at the bottom, you have an improvement suggestion. To make the prompt more effective, you could include specific details about the areas you're looking to improve productivity in. For example, as a product manager, how can I use AI to automate task management and improve team productivity? This is one of the more popular features of the platform. You can also save your prompt. So if you do end up with a highly scoring prompt that you think is useful and that other people in the company might want to use, you can hit the little plus button here and it saves it to the prompt library. And then the prompt library is like this, where you can share across the organization the prompts that are working for everyone. I hope this was a good demo of the platform as it stands today. It is evolving on a weekly basis. So if you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are always here to answer them. Thank you very much.